Hello folks, well we've got a Maxcom 20E, there are 2 production runs of these, so let's see, well, it's 1982, so it's the earlier production run. So Mark, G7NDJ, has them on his visits, put a red sticker on it which means it doesn't work. The power connector needs replacing, we have those in stock, we have the power leads in stock, Mr. Chippy manufactures them, we bought the right tooling to make them properly. So let's hope we can do something with these. I like these sets a lot. Unlike the Maybe Midlands, they don't suffer from dry joints. So the retaining tab has snapped off on that side of the connector. So I'll get that replaced if we can fix the set. So it's 5-pin DIN, absolutely standard 5-pin DIN. Have we got an absolutely standard mic on here? It seems we've got a pile of mics on here which we shouldn't have. This must be our unlabelled correct one. So when you buy these mics, which are available from us, but they're also available from other people, and there are a screened lead on these particular ones. This is the ones that look the same but don't have a screened lead. It's a bit thinner, you can sometimes spot that. This is the correct pin out for this kind of radio. So I've known people buy the 5-pin DIN version expecting it's going to work on the Sapphire 4000X or the Oscar 1 or the Barracuda HP 940, etc. Well, it doesn't, it needs some rewiring in the plug. And this isn't a moulded plug, it is rewirable. So, we've no idea what this does. I bet if I looked at the clipboard, which is in another room, it would say. So we should have enough scrap Maxcom chassis to be able to sort this out. Oh dear, that's a bit pushed in. I didn't bring the sheet of paper in with me. I'll use the speaker on the wall just in case there's an issue. I don't want to put volts up the test equipment. We'll use the crocodile clips at this stage. I don't want to spend money putting the connector on, only to find the set's no use. It's like the people respray a car which is jacked up on on bricks in the garden, and it's never going to go, but they have it resprayed. Oh dear. Ah, well, aha. It's got a broken front. Oh, well, this could be a short video. So we'll power it up. It's in channel 9. Take it out of channel 9. Very, very quick. I'll put picture in picture, and you can see this happen if anything actually works. Go to transmit. We don't have anything, it's not going into transmit. Right, okay. Just in case the mic's faulty, that's a new mic, but just in case it's faulty, we've got a original mic, borrowed off another set. And lo and behold, it's going into transmit, but the transmit light doesn't work, so that's not helping matters. It's kind of going into transmit. I don't think the other one's faulty. It's a culmination of various things. There's a lot of things wrong. Right. I think all we've got to do here is see if we've got another front. because we haven't got another front, and these can get broken. Let's see whether we can whip the front off. Take the power off. So that's why it's been here a time. It probably gets picked over and that's the wrong screwdriver. If it was straightforward break, it could get glued back together with the epoxy resin, but I bet the bit's missing. I once ordered a nut runner from somebody in the United States, and it was about £30. These things were custom made to do this, but they never sent it. So now what's holding it? Oh, the meter. This could have been glued, I think. Yeah, because it's glued to the potentiometer. I may end up fixing this as a chassis, like the jacked up car on bricks, which is never going anywhere. Yeah, they've used a super glue for that, so that came away easily. So it's very flimsy once that happens. So we know the transmit light's not working, which is not unusual on these sets. So why is it only transmitting about 10 milliwatts? Now, these don't suffer from dry joints in a normal run of things, but anything can suffer from dry joints over a period of time with heating and cooling, and of course you get a lot of heating and cooling in the power amplifier section. I don't think it's going to be high hours because we must have had it since 2014 surely. Where's the driver transistor? Right, well that's some remedial type of work. So yes, the transmit LEDs fail. Let's put the power back on. We'll go with. I'm going to use the original mic, not because I don't trust the new one, but it's lighter weight and it's unlikely. It's less likely to drag the radio off the bench with the weight. I've got a switch on thumb. It is trying to transmit. Make sure there's nothing like a snapped wire going to the aerial socket. So the only core that could be disturbed because they've got wax in is that one. See whether it's receiving. So I'll set the signal generator up for 27,79125. Put the signal generator on and we can see the meter move. So it's receiving. We can't hear it. Which one's high and low power? The one that doesn't go to channel 9. It's doing nothing on that. It's doing something on that. So it's the left hand side where it's generating a bit of power. The left hand side is the normal position. So that sounds fair enough. What I'm just going to do is, seeing as it's doing about 10 milliwatt, I'll just see if we can tune that, and the answer is no. See if we can get any noise out of the speaker. Well, a lot of this working. This is where we love sets with PA. It's so easy to put them into PA and see whether you've got some sound coming out. Well, I think we've got one with a Duff PA chip. Before changing that, why we only got low power and receive? Now the 8-volt regulator, I'm going to have to get the circuit out for this, aren't I? Because I can't see where the 8-volt regulator is. And the other thing is, I've got to see whether I've got a front. What they'd done is to glue it to the potentiometer instead of gluing this to the case. But considering it's got to support the weight of the potentiometer and people turning it, I don't think you can successfully repair that. Right, well, it isn't good news, folks. The only other set we've got in the place is this one, and it's exactly the same scenario. Yes. So we'll have a look at this. There's no point in spending money sorting this out, which there's a lot of it working. It's like 7/8 there, to be honest. But we'll just have a look at the other one for giggles, but unless someone's got a scrap set they can sell us. And again, we've got the same scenario there. We can remove that and replace the, use that housing again. We've got the tools to do that. So take the screws out of this one. There's certainly enough materials to make 1 out of 2 if we've got a front. And although you could glue this back with araldite or probably even hot glue, it's not going to be lasting. It's not something you could sell to anybody. You know, you could use it yourself, but you couldn't trust that to stay put for 10 years or so. Unlike some people with their 1-year warranties. It's actually got screws in this one. And if I remove the gaffer tape or the carpet tape, oh, this is going to make me sticky for the next week. Oh right, well that's why that's glued together. You know what, this probably works. Oh, there's another screw in there. And there's a screw left in there. So the Maxcom 21 is the same, but it has the fairy light display instead of the meter. So you've got an extra little board for the Texas Instruments bar graph driver. This looks higher hours, but it's not had as much heat, so probably doing more receiving rather than having a racket. What is it? Ratchet jaw. A ratchet jaw on it. Right, we'll power this one up. So we've got nothing on this one. Oh, we have, it's there. It's dirt on the channel 9 switch. Right, so we'll do the same as we did before. We plug the wall mounted speaker in, test gear in, and once again we'll use the lightweight bike. Oh, it does more than the other, doesn't it? Except I can't hear any signal generator. Oh, I can. Miles off frequency. See what transmit's doing. It's transmitting, it's doing 2.3 watts. It's not off frequency, so the detector's out. Oh, right. So we'll run through this because we're going to get another front from somewhere, aren't we? I'll go and get myself that paper. Now, notice the meter lamp doesn't work on this one. I thought it was higher hours. It is, isn't it? Those meter lamps are between 1 and 5,000 hours. So, what one's this? April 82. And the other one was April 82. The other was 7530. This is 8507. It's a newer one. Manufactured the same day, I expect. So, transmit power is on a low scale, so it's 2 watts. Channel 1, 2.1 watt. Channel 40, 1.5 watts. Low power, when we get back to channel 20, we'll do current consumption as well, 673 milliamps. Low power. Interesting. $900 milliwatts. Meter. Doesn't work. Deviation for what it's worth on here. Get ourselves back to UK. Wallow is 1.1. We won't be doing the VCO because that's going to be working, and the frequency is so close. We'll fix it right now. It's spot on. There's nothing I can do to that. 27.79127, 27.79129. If I do just touch it, we'll just take it down a fraction. They drop with age, so it must have been quite high at one time. receive. So we'll have to put the test equipment into it instead of the speaker on the wall. Let's go to sign that meter so you can see what we're doing. It is 10 microvolts. For 10 dB it is 9.8 microvolts, and I don't expect it's going to do 20 in a month of Sundays. Oh, it's not far out. At 1 millivolt. Squelch. Let's just go through all that again. I've got the test set in AM. .96 microvolts. .84 microvolts. I thought the detector sounded out. Wrong kind of detector. And 1.7. So it's actually working very well. Squelch, if we manage not to rotate the whole radio. So it never opens on full squelch. It's not far off. Yeah, it's 100 millivolts. Do the opposite. Threshold. And it's 1.45. S-meter. And it's reading. It's stuck, isn't it? Right, we'll run through the transmitter. I'll try and do it without getting the service manual out. But are these transmitter or these receive? So they're going to be receive. Yep. Right. Right, we'll go back to main meter. So we'll channel 20, see if we can get a bit more out of it. So centre of the peak. Is that the right one? we've got a small dry joint in the PA. I don't think it's going to affect the power. It's doing 3 watts. More than some new sets do. So we'll look into that. And then we're not going to be able to do the power meter, are we? Because the meter's duff. See if we can find deviation. It's going to be there, isn't it? So I'll go to the test set behind me. A quick look at that. Well, it's 1.9, so probably about like it came out of the factory. Wallow. That's it. Peak of 2.5. Basically the same chassis as the Maxcom 4E and the Midland 3001 and so on, but it's kind of laid out in a compact way and you lose public address. It's a bit like Cybernet did the 134 chassis. And then with the Cybernet Beta 1000 and 2000, the Ford Roadmaster and the small Radiomobile, it's a compact version of the same chassis called the Cybernet 135 in that case. So manufacturers do things like that. So let's see what the deviation says on this test set. Wallow. Yeah, it's reading wrong today, so it's 1.5. Right, so that. Where did I put my pen? There. So it was actually 1.9. It's now 2.2 with a peak of 2.5. Transmit current is now 839 milliamps. And from cold it's actually 3.2 watts. But it's not that cold, so I will just change that to 3.2. And channel 40 is 3, and channel 1 is 3.2. Could say that's 3.1. Low power was not right. It's probably going to be that one. It doesn't matter what I upset and put it right. It's not that one. It's probably power meter. No, you'd expect those to be meter because they're together. I may have to look at the circuit yet, or is it that one there? Yeah, I've not turned it to low power. I flicked the wrong switch, put it on channel 9. That one. .400 milliwatts. Right, so we need to do something about receive. Put the oscilloscope on, put a decent signal on, like 100 microvolts, 10 S9 equivalent. Do the detector. Yeah, it was a little bit out. Now we'll go over to the cyanide meter. So when I just touched up on those two, I would have made a slight improvement there and then. So I may as well do those properly now. biggest signal on. Drop the signal off. I think that's all there is. See what we've got as a new reading. So 10 dB, we've got 0.86. It's supposed to be under 1, which it is. For 10 dB, 0.81. For 20 dB, it's now 1.25. So that's a big improvement there. So we need to sort the squelch out. So I've got the squelch, I've got the attenuator at 100 microvolts. So we know that's deviation. It's probably going to be that one, which I thought was initially low power. It is. There we go. So that's open as 100 microvolts. Let's see where it is at the bottom end. So we'll set the signal generator to standby, set the squelch on the radio to threshold. Signal generator back on. 0.85 microvolts. That's better. Right, that's it. I'm done. Can't set the meter's broken, so we'll find a front from somewhere. If we just get a front, we can take the meter off the other set, and perhaps we'll get another scrap chassis which can be done. But I haven't had to spend anything on it. I would have to buy a new connector, which we have in stock, but I'm not doing that till we finish it off. So it's like having the jacked up car in your garden. We've got the works done, but in this case the bodywork isn't good enough to get your MOT, which for people abroad, the Ministry of Transport test, when I find the aerial lead, is an annual test for cars over 3 years old, and they go for an awful lot of things, to make sure they're roadworthy. And body corrosion's one of them. It helps if I put the, because I've disconnected from the test gear, we've got no earth return, so just, there we go. 1 nano, roger. Notice the transmit light doesn't work on this one either. Helps if we're on high power as well. 1 nano, roger. We can of course go over to our walkie-talkie. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1, and back. Testing 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. So this is working. They do sound nice. Go back to 19. There we go, a working set which we want a front for. Thanks for watching. Sorting the chassis out of a Maxcom 20E, and not sorting the chassis out, it's quite repairable, of a Maxcom 20E. Notice both LEDs are duff, which is quite common.